The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah. Go Cowboys!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, Heckma Harrison, and Newey Scruggs.
All right, everybody, here we are back one more time for you. We're here at the Star in Frisco. It is the Players Lounge, the SWBC Podcast Studio. Players Lounge, Players Lounge.
Break it down for the people.
Stu. Barry Church from Dallas Cowboys
What's
safety. Heckma Harrison is here. I'm Newey Scruggs.
sir.
Okay, Cowboys with real football practice today, sir. Padded practice. No more underwear Olympics.
There we go.
No more just helmets or just helmets and shoulder pads. We're going to put on pads. We're going to pop. We're going to hit. And this, to me, is where we start to find out the most important questions, at least for me. How are they going to look on the offensive and defensive lines? This is where the game is won, gentlemen. You've got to be good there. So, Church, you take us through what is a first padded practice like after you've done all the OTAs and the mini camp, the play, and even the first part of camp, the play. Now we got the real deal.
No, the first padded practice, it's always super hype. Always super hype. Everybody's, been itching to get the pads on. You see guys that as camp progresses, people get into that locker room later and later before practice starts. But that first padded practice, people are there 30 minutes earlier. Man, gotta make sure my straps are good. They going to Big Mike's equipment room over there, making sure their gloves fit, shoes are fitting right, everybody got their swag together, and everybody's hyped up to go out there and play. And then when you get out there, of course you got your individual, you got all your walkthroughs and stuff, but when the real pads start to get popping, you can hear it, especially from that offensive line, defensive line. When they're over there doing, their trench work, all you hear is pop, 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 pop. And then usually what happens, I've been on two teams in my, my 9 years in the NFL. And usually that first day of practice, there's always going to be some type of scrap because somebody went too hard on somebody else and they like, no, we can't do that. And it's usually the offensive and defensive linemen because they're hitting 24/7. They're going at it 24/7. Somebody's hand went in the face mask or something like that happens. But the first day of padded practice, it's always one of the funnest because you got the most energy. So every play, you just like, yeah, let's get it. Now, as camp goes on, people are like, man, I'm tired of hitting these people. I'm tired of this. Let's get to the regular else. Exactly. Let's get to the regular season. But that first padded practice, man, it's always legit. And I'll always remember when I first really met Rolando McClain. I think it was 2014 when he came over. Sean Lee had went down, and everybody's like, oh man, what are we gonna do at the linebacker position? And then that first padded practice, everybody's kind of thudding up a little bit. And I don't know what got into my man, but a young undrafted wide receiver by the name of Tim, I forget his last name. He was number 16 for the Cowboys, went across the middle. And Rolando, it might have been the hardest hit I've ever seen in my life. Took the man's helmet off. He had his little jersey up, so the straps on the shoulder pads was going this way and that way. And I'm like, oh, we got a thumper in the middle. We might be all right. And it turned out that he was a pretty good player out there. But I'm telling you, man, that first padded practice, it's the most energy you'll see all in camp.
I love to hear that, man. Those stories about those first padded practices, that these guys are waiting to get into it. All OTAs, especially for the offensive linemen, defensive linemen, they're the ones that really can't get any work at all because everything is simulated. And look, how can you? It's not simulated where you're hitting. Yeah. So how do you get that real work in? Yeah, we can run 7-on-7 all you want to. You can bump all that. You can get all the yak you want to. But it really comes down to really those ISO plays. And that's like the linebackers, the defensive linemen, all those people. They are ready to really, you can't even get ready for the season until you get that first little touch of contact, and it's just so many guys on this team right now, Newey, that man, it's going to come down to how rough and rugged they can be because after all these last couple of seasons, that's been the biggest thing about the Cowboys. People have been the biggest question mark, toughness. Where's the toughness of this team? And I think the NFL has basically legislated a lot of it out. I think it's something like 16 padded practices. Or something like that, where it used to be back in even your days, two-a-days, for real. It was gladiator school, and you don't have that anymore. So now these padded practices, the importance of them has doubled with how important it is to put those pads on to really see the identity of a lot of these guys.
Maximizing. And look, let's just be honest, okay? The Cowboys have done a fantastic job of winning a lot of regular season games, but when we go back and we start to look at the losses that they've had, it's been against good teams.
Yep.
And it's been against teams where we talk about popping pads in the middle. You look at the Buffalo game last year. You look at the San Francisco game. You look at the Green Bay game, and you say, okay, when you talk about the toughness, this is where you get tough. This is where you must be tough. One player, and by the way, they're going to have their first practice here in about 15 minutes out in Oxnard, California. I want to see what center Brock Hoffman has.
Yeah.
Okay. Brock Hoffman is a guy who played some last year. Yes, they drafted Cooper Beebe out of Kansas State, but if I'm Brock Hoffman, I'm up in here. You got to take this from me. That's how I would look at it. He's running with the first team right now. So as pads pop, let's see what he can do. We all need to see exactly what Tyler Guyton, the left tackle, what can he do? We all are waiting on to see what they're going to get out of Mozzie Smith, last year's first round pick.
Say he's ready.
No, you're right.
I mean, look, this okay. All of this been play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
All they do just rubbing up on each other. You know. I mean, you just like,
Hand
right. You know, swim past the guy. You know, now he's hitting. Okay. And for me, that's what I want to see, Heckma. I want to see what these guys are going to do, because if this team is going to do anything, they must be good in the trenches on both sides of the football.
You know, you bring up a great point on Brock Hoffman, and there had to be some confidence in him to be able to let Tyler Biadasz walk. Let's just be honest there. I mean, and there always has been.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think it was just $10 million for Tyler Biadasz. Thanks.
Good luck, my brother. Good luck.
A lot of those decisions make themselves, right? There it is.
I mean, nothing against Tyler Biadasz, okay? Good football player. $10 million football player? Hey, man, good luck to you. Shake him by the hand. You a DQ? You know, we'll see you twice a year, right? We'll see. But heck, did you think it was $10 million?
No, I really look. Here's the thing. I think for a very long time here in Dallas, they've done everything to keep the nucleus of a good offensive line, and they've paid guys that have been players. Again, you point to Tyler Biadasz, $10 million worth, not so much. And so Brock Hoffman is really pushed in this position where, like you said, man, it's his to lose, but as you know, as the pecking order goes and how your draft order goes and how you're being paid and how they're forecasting you into the future, BB is someone that they are saying, look, you could be the future here at this position. Second season here for Brock Hoffman, and he has come in and spelled and with injuries and all of that, and it's played really well. Played really well, but I think it's going to come down to who is the guy in the middle, because you have to be the brain trust of that offensive line. You have to call protections. We know it's not just hiking the ball.
Right.
And so much of that is going to be Brock Hoffman has a leg up on the other side of BB because he's been in this system already for a year. So like you said, it's his to lose.
So go on, flip on this one. I think about Terrence Steele. Here's your starting right tackle. Here's a guy who wasn't drafted. So this team is showing you they're not afraid to give a guy an opportunity, especially on the offensive line that's undrafted. So it's not a stretch to say maybe he could pull this thing off, especially knowing BB's got to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, this you were undrafted guy here, and so this is an organization that has no problem saying if you can get it done, we'll play you.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, the Cowboys, they do great when it comes to undrafted guys. You're talking about the Miles Austins of the world, the Tony Romos, myself. I mean, there's Beasley, all those type of guys they give opportunities to. The only thing with Hoffman is he's going to have to go out there each and every practice and prove that he belongs with that first team unit. He's going to have to show these coaches each and every day, man, you know what, that Hoffman, he can pick up the blitz. Man, he can understand where protections are, and he can help the quarterback. He's going to have to do that each and every practice. When it comes to BB, they're going to bring him along slow. He was a second-round draft pick, so he's going to have every opportunity to prove that he can't play. Because the scouting team, they don't want to feel like they're wrong, so they're going to give him every opportunity out there to get that starting position. But Hoffman, he's going to have to make sure he plays his cards right and makes the right decisions almost each and every practice. Not saying he has to be perfect, but he's going to have a lot less opportunities to mess up than a Zach Beebe would, just because of the draft status and being undrafted versus a second rounder.
Yeah, well, and then on the other side for Hoffman, he has he has two really good players next to him.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so Smith and Martin, it really kind of makes the job a little bit easier. But I think for these coaches and this coaching staff, they're looking for who is more physical in the middle, who is going to be the guy, because the running game is really what has been punished because you've been so weak in the middle, or not having that guy that is that road grader of offensive linemen. And so Cooper Beebe has a lot to make up to that regard. I mean, I think when they came out and they evaluated that guy, they evaluated him based off of his ability to run block, his ability to get up to the second level. For the center, that's the biggest thing. Can you get to the second level? And it is tough. It is tough, but also helping on double teams and things like that. So I think I got my eyes on Cooper Beebe because I want to see how physical, and can he translate what he did in college to the pros and being as physical as he was.
I was at Kansas State a couple times this year and talked to some of the coaches. They had nothing but good things to say about the young man. So I think if you're a Cowboy fan, you should feel good about Cooper Beebe. But I come back into this, heck, man, we've seen this so many times. 17-game season, man. Guys are dropping.
Absolutely.
Okay?
100%.
I mean, Zach Martin missed time last year. We've seen several players. So whether Cooper Beebe's your starting center or Brock Hoffman, so, the way the NFL is played today, you're going to need some people, and you're going to you just can't have 5. You need about 8 to 9 of these guys because you're gonna roll through them. Yep. So that's my other portion of Can iron sharpen iron? Can it get better if it's Hoffman's at first and maybe Beebe comes a little bit later? That's okay too. But they're going to have to develop some depth here. And let me throw this out here. We're going way. I haven't seen anything, but just the contingencies.
Okay.
We're talking about Tyler Guyton at left tackle. Let's just say it doesn't go the way they want to. That he may need a little bit more time. If they had to put Tyler Smith out there at left tackle, Beebe's played guard. You could potentially put Beebe at left guard and put Hoffman at center. I mean, they're going to have to experiment, and that's what they're going to do anyways. Every team does. You're going to have to throw out some experiments about who's where. Right. Or maybe instead of putting Beebe at left tackle, maybe it's our boy Chuma. Idoga right there. I mean, who's a better interior guy than next? So there's combinations, and that's one thing I do miss about not being in camp right now. Is it's kind of what are they doing? What are they doing, man? And I remember when look, I'm nowhere near comparing myself to these offensive linemen at the pro level, but I just remember the high school level when you just would mix in guys and just the communication and understanding who's going to do what and where you go. It's a challenge, and that's where I think that offensive line play. Because we always like to look at the receivers and the running backs, but
skill position,
right? But that challenge of having to mix in different guys and how you go about the learning aspect and working with, hey, if you got Aaron Donald here, there's a whole little different about how we gonna run a play.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
No, it's Warren Sapp, a whole little different, So as you're mixing guys in, figuring out who can handle who. That is a challenge, man. So I'm looking forward to that.
Let me just say this. I think that Tyler Guyton right now has a lot of pressure on him. All right, because of his draft, where he was drafted, but also each and every day he's going up against Micah Parsons.
100%.
And when you say iron sharpens iron, there you have it. And if he can handle this matchup on an everyday basis, I think what I'm looking at is the first 4 games of the season, the pass rushers that he has to face. I mean, he comes right out the chute with Myles Garrett.
5, the first 5.
The first 5.
Myles ain't leaving that side. He's like, no, I want the rook all day.
Man.
Get out. I got it. I got it.
And the last thing you want is a rookie to be having seeing guys fight over me, waving other guys off to get on their side. I just feel as though as a contingency, it's good to have a guy like Tyler Smith that has the experience, has the footwork, and has the toughness. But I think what he's shown you is that, man, he's a guard. He's a left guard. I've been fighting for him to go play left tackle. But I think that the front office and everybody else has seen, like, this guy is really hell to deal with in the middle of this offensive line. And if we can bring in a guy like Chuma Edoga or bring a tight end and set him out there on that side, we will be better served than to move Tyler Smith out there.
Cowboys' first 5 games of the year: at Cleveland, home against New Orleans, home against Baltimore, a Thursday night game at the Giants, and then game number 5 at Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You talk about pass rushers. I mean, that's a litany
Ain't nothing
of
sweet
guys.
about that. Ain't nothing
Back
sweet.
Nothing.
To what I said,
Oh, my goodness.
these padded practices matter because you've got to start to figure out what you've got. And you talk about being tough. You better be tough here.
I heard an interview with Tyler, with Guyton, and he said, I didn't take a vacation this summer. I didn't go. I'm like, that's a smart man. He know what he has on his plate.
Get ready.
No sense of going to Cannes and France and all of that. You better be right here, buddy.
Yeah.
Lock in.
And back on what you said about Guyton, one of the smartest things he could do is really just go asking Tyler Smith.
Yeah.
Because remember when he was drafted, a lot of people were like, wait a minute, this guy, nobody held more in college football than him. He's from Tulsa. I mean, there were so many, people were just down. And that young man has been nothing but fantastic.
That's true.
So I would attach myself to him in terms of, okay, we're playing next to each other. What do we do? How do I get better? You guys played college football. Heck, you played K-State, North Texas, Barry. You played in Toledo, played in the NFL. But I just think along the way in any profession, find out who's good.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to.
Right.
What you do.
Yeah.
How do I do what you do?
How are you able to last this long? I mean, you got to make sure you get to a veteran and make sure to pick his brain a little bit. I mean, that's what I always did when I first got here. Yeah. Gerald Sensabaugh was my, veteran, the guy that kind of taught me how to do this and that and read coverage, all that good stuff. So you got to make sure you get a veteran in there. But, I mean, what helped out Tyler Smith so much was he had, a Hall of Famer next to him. Yeah. Hopefully that rubbed a lot off on him. And so now he can help the next generation. But we shall see. That's a big shoe to fill.
Yeah.
No, it is. And Tyler Smith is definitely the guy. And I'm so impressed by him every time I see him in an interview, just the way how articulate he is as a young man, but also that smartness and just kind of taking that guy under his wing and saying, look, man, this is how the NFL works. This is how play works. This is how you break down film with guys, because he's going to have to become a student of the game. When you're 6'7", 6'8", and you're just used to being able to stick your arm out there and keep a guy at distance, then okay, that works. All right, that works against an Iowa State. That's not going to work against Myles Garrett. That's not going to work against T.J. Watt. It's a whole nother ball game when you have that kind of athleticism across from you.
Kayvon Thibodeau, Cam Jordan.
Yeah. Ooh. It's tough. It's tough.
T.J. Watt.
Yeah, it's tough.
Which means you're going to need to run the ball. Okay, let's take a break. Let's take our first break, because as we're talking about the pass rushers and the offensive line, the result needs to be a positive running game.
Right.
How do we feel about who's running the ball in that whole running back room? We'll do that next with Barry Church, Hackman Harrison, the Discuss Players Lounge, brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming, right here on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Are you the 2024 Dallas Cowboys Fan of the Year? The Dallas Cowboys and Captain Morgan are celebrating extraordinary, inspiring, and original fans. Nominate yourself or the biggest Cowboys fan you know for a chance to be named the 2024 Fan of the Year and win prizes, including a trip to Super Bowl 59. Visit DallasCowboys.com/Fan of the Year. Go Cowboys!
Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Kyle Yeomans here, sharing that same team that brought you Buffalo, bringing NFL casino games that show America's team on and off the reels. Aristocrat is changing the game with a new experience. Football fans, this means you can pick your team and play your team. Check out the Cowboys-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat, a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Gambling problem? Please contact the U.S. National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Games brings you Cowboys-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat. Find America's team on and off the reels now at a casino near you. Do you have a gambling problem? Please contact 1-800-GAMBLERS 421 and don't do that. Let me get through it. Let me get.
I heard the
Do y'all know how hard I worked on that? Do y'all know how? You don't know how hard I worked on that. You don't know. You don't know.
He's coachable.
I was at the crib. I was like, okay, take a pause right there. Do you have a gambling?
And pencil on
Well,
that.
y'all ain't worth. Man, I
Put
tell
that
you
in
what,
there.
with friends like these, who needs enemies, man? Forget about it.
I'm sorry.
But you know what?
I just keep seeing the scene from New Jack City. Chris Rock plays Pookie. Scotty be calling me, man. He be calling me.
Serious, man. Do you have a gambling problem? I'm telling you, I worked on that. Y'all, the transition was nice. I was like, I transitioned nice right there. Heck.
Hey. You're too young to remember this. But remember the old Michael Jordan Come Fly With Me video?
Yeah.
And they just going through all this stuff about Michael being this rising star. And he's doing his PSA. Stop it. Get some help.
Boy, told that man to
Get some help. And he was serious. Get some help.
Stop it. Get some help. There's a popular GIF. If you go on, you sit there, the popular GIF. Stop it. Get
you some help, dog.
Get some help.
Come on now. We gotta keep her. Aristocrat, we love you, baby.
Yeah, Players Lounge. Aristocrat Gary. He's Barry Church.
Yo.
I'm Nick Scruggs. It's Heckma Harrison over here. All right. Padded practice about to start.
Yeah.
Well, it's already started 5 minutes ago. Okay, started 5 minutes ago at Oxnard, California. We're talking in the first segment about the pads being on, popping. Let's see what the offensive and defensive lines can do. Yes, we know the Cowboys in the playoffs have been put out the last 2 years by teams who could run the football. Green Bay, San Francisco. What about the Cowboys' ability to run the football? That's the importance of the offensive line. And now the running back room kind of goes back to the future where here's Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
It's not Zeke fresh from Ohio State. It's Zeke with, a little tread on the tire, fresh from playing for Bill Belichick in New England. And so now he's back.
Yeah.
We should not. It's like Klay Thompson coming to the Mavericks. Don't expect to see Splash Brother Klay.
No, that's not who you getting.
This is not Zeke. Feed Zeke. This is we Zeke's like that older dog you have now. We give him the weight management food. You just
I'm not gonna let you do Zeke like that.
We
You
feed
helping him
him
up the
different.
stairs?
To feed him. We feed him a little differently. We watching his weight. We taking care of it. We can't take care of our dog a little bit. So that look, if he's not going to tote the ball 20 times a game. He's not going to run for 1,500 yards. We're not looking for that from Ezekiel. I think that would be unfair. Okay. Can he give you 15 touches a game and pick up the blitz and 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2 convert it? That's what you need. It's like now when I look at Klay Thompson for the Mavericks. Hey man, can this guy go give you 14 to 18 points a game? That can help you here.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you got Luka and Kyrie to do that. You got Dak. You got CeeDee. You got people over here. Hey, man, I just need to get your 15 toes, pick me up a 3rd and 2, goal line, score, because goal line was a problem last year.
Yeah.
If he can do that, in my opinion, that's what I'm looking for from Zeke. What you looking for, Hank?
Well, Klay also plays defense, so I won't throw that in there.
Not as good as he used to be.
Not as good as you used to, but he still does. And that's either way, you need it. You need it on that team. Look, it warms my heart to see Ezekiel Elliott back in a Cowboys uniform. Now we already had this discussion, Danny McCray. We already have dinner on it, so there's no need to revisit this because the expectation of what Zeke can do in this running back room, I think, is going to be a lot better than what you saw last year with Tony Pollard. I think Tony Pollard. He struggled throughout the season, and that was the one deficiency in the offensive just synergy was his ability just to carry the running game. And it didn't matter if it was a running back by committee, Rico Dowdle, whoever it was, you just didn't have that tough inside runner. And you just alluded to the fact that there was in that short yardage game when we had those 3rds and 1s, when we had those goal line experiences in Miami where we could not get into the goal. Like, we just couldn't get across the goal line. We have that now. Now, how does that mix currently? I'm not looking for Zeke to be 2016 Zeke, but I am looking for Zeke to be that guy that can pick up quality yards and can also batter a defense. Rico Dowdle is going to have to pick up the slack. You're going to have a third guy in here as well. Yes, you're going to have to add a third guy in here as well. Yes, you're going to have a third guy in here as well. And it's going to have to be one of those guys that can up the tempo. We asked last year, it was all about, well, man, Dak, the running game ain't going. Tuck it and run with it, Dak. And what did Dak show? Dak was like, nope. Nope, I'm going to audible right out of that, and I'm going to turn around and I'm going to hand the ball to Tony Pollard. Just the running game wasn't there for us. And, I mean, one way or another, we are going to have to, whether running back by committee, we need at least 1,400 to 1,500 yards out of that room.
Right, and I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I don't see 1,500 yards out of that group. We're talking about a Royce Freeman. We're talking about Zeke, my boy
Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, Rico Dowdle. And was it 42? Deuce? Yeah, Deuce.
Deuce fine. Come
We're
on,
talking about that group of people right there.
Come on, man.
Going to give you 1,500 yards out there. This, to me, reminds me a lot, and we talked about this, I think, last week or the week before, when we came in with that wide receiver core with Hearns and the crew. Now we're doing it instead of with the wide receivers, we're doing it in the running back room. That's exactly what's going on right now. You telling me that group of running backs, and look, Zeke was a phenomenal running back when he first came, and like you said, the tread is getting a little thin on that side.
Yeah.
You think he's gonna be able to carry the load? We've yet to see what Rico can do carrying the load. He was spelling Tony Pollard last year.
Yeah.
We don't know what Deuce is. Royce Freeman. To me, this I don't know, man. I don't see 1,500 yards in production. Maybe total yards with receiving as well.
No. I'm rushing. I'm saying this. I said rushing, so I'm gonna stay on that. All right. We got 1,011 from Tony Pollard last season. I'm saying you needed more than that, even from him. All right. You have to have more contributions. I think, and this is just right off the top, I think Rico Dowdle was something like 200 and some yards. And that's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it. It's not going to get it done. You have to be better to that regard.
This smells a lot like Dak passing it 35 to 45 times a game.
And that's not going to work.
That's not going to work at all. We've seen it.
That's not what you need. So, okay, I'm say this. Say this. Number one, people will get cut. We do know this.
Absolutely.
So that's where Will McClay and company can go do their jobs, and they do it very well. There's some teams out there who are going to have a surplus at running back, so there will be a good player that you can go get. Number two, I said this before in the spring, and you two just going to sit here and act like I didn't say it. So I'm going to say it again. And I'm hearing it already. People at camp. Hunter Lemke.
Man, stop it.
That's right. That's right.
Look, no.
Hunter Lemke. Mike McCarthy likes Hunter Lemke.
Somebody get this man off the airwaves.
That's right. Go ahead.
When we talk Hunter Lemke?
I'm just telling you, man. Okay. Hunter Lemke, year 2. L Boogie.
The man that got a nickname now.
L Boogie. Okay. Sleep on him if you wanna. Sleep on him if you wanna.
That man said L Boogie.
There won't be no fumble. There won't be no fumble at the one this time.
Look.
Okay? You can tuck it. He gonna stop, drop, and roll into the end zone, okay? I'm just telling you right now. I'm here for it. Okay?
And this is what we
That's right.
This is the running back group.
That's right.
Led by L Boogie. This is
Look.
Hey, use check, better look out. Pro Bowl spot could be on the line.
Stop. Okay.
Disrespect.
Look.
Hey, they playing each other too this year. San Francisco against the Cowboys. Lemke's use check.
Bookie, baby.
Okay.
He had 19 yards last year. There's nowhere but up for him.
19 yards, fumble.
Yeah.
So see now if we can talk about Mozzie coming back and doing something, we can put some hopes and dreams on Mozzie. This man can't get no hopes and dreams.
You won't let me sell my hopium. I'm not gonna let you sell yours. No way.
I got premium right here. Okay, because Mike McCarthy's behind. Big Mike's behind this one. Okay.
Yeah, no.
I was trying to tell you. Okay, Hunter Lemke, look out.
I can see if he was like Coon, like when John Coon back with the I can see.
Who put Coon on the map?
You did?
Mike.
Coon and L
Mike
Boogie.
McCarthy.
I gotta stop calling this man L Boogie.
Don't do it.
Coon and Lipke are nowhere near the same people. Man.
And if I'm going to have a player in that spot for Lipke, I'm going to have that's Ezekiel Elliott's spot. That's where I need Zeke.
Hey, baby, they can do that together. Like Run DMC, together, forever, together. Hunter Lemke and Zeke.
That's your answer to that. You shot me down on the 15. I said 1,500 yards between three guys, and I got four eyes over here.
Add Lemke into that, too. That's
okay, my bad. L Boogie. Let's throw L Boogie in that, too.
Boogie going to get you some, too.
L Boogie.
I'm just telling you,
19
man.
last year.
Was I right about Tolbert?
What?
Better than year two? Was I right about Steele? Be better in year two?
He took a jump.
Okay, took a jump. Didn't I tell you Diggs was gonna get that second contract?
You did say that.
Lemke's going to be a factor here, man. I'm just telling you right now. I said it in the spring. I know I'm out there on this island by myself, but that's what you have to do sometimes. You got to go ahead and decide. I'm gonna be out here like Prince. Prince was out here by himself, wearing them crazy clothes and G-strings and
all
makeup.
that.
Okay, look at him. Legend.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you right now. I'm gonna put some faith in this man. Put some faith right here in Hunter Lemke.
Yeah.
Jump on the train if you want to. You can sit up here and criticize. That's okay.
No, you got a lot of seats on that train.
That's okay. It's all right, man. It's all right.
Yeah,
Jesus was by himself for a minute till he found 12. Right now, I'm going to go get myself 12. I'm going to get 12 L Boogie disciples to come with me.
You recruiting today.
We're going to prophesy from the book of Mike McCarthy.
We're going to leave that. Look, I see where you're going with that. All right? I see where you're going with that. But I really think that's the reason why you bring back an Ezekiel Elliott, because you understand I have faith in this guy. I've seen him do it before. He did it at New England, okay?
Yes.
He did it at New England. And I just, and look, for me, Barry, that
but he gonna need some help.
Production that he had in New England, boy, we sure needed that production last year. We gave that away. And if he could just mimic that.
But what did he do in New England that was
this is what I'm saying.
Unreal?
It's what he could have done here that I look at.
What could he have done here?
The goal line? How many times have we talked about that for the 5-yard line and they couldn't get something done? That's where you're looking at it, man. And so you take that with Zeke, his ability there, and the improvement of L Boogie.
I can't believe we.
You lost by 2. And you know what, I'm going to go back to something that I know New is always going to talk about, the win percentage in the NFL. It's always, 2 points or less, all right?
3 points or less.
That's it, all right? And you lose a game by 2 points to the Dolphins. You have a game against the Bills where they're just running the ball. I mean, they're down your throat. Playoff game. Mm-hmm. Talked about that. You have a team that's just runaway freight train, and you can't stop the bleeding because you don't have a running game to speak of. We have got to figure this out. I mean, that's one of those things, and I knew you guys were already on this train of the running back room don't look too good, and I don't feel as confident in it as I always have with having those, cornerstones in the running game sitting in that room. So
that's why you need help. That's why we're going to need a little help.
But
together.
Hunter Lemke. I was hoping you'd pull somebody. I thought you were about to say something else besides Hunter Lemke, though.
I can already hear it now.
This is just like when Bobby Brown did Mr. Telephone Man. That's him. Hunter Lemke be Mr. Telephone Man.
I can hear it now.
Just get a little thing right there.
Lemke up the middle.
Oh, goodness. Touchdown. We about to
Somebody help him up.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, some good news, some good positive news that these brothers will be on board with. This is the Players Lounge, brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming.
To kick off the 2023 NFL season, Hugo Boss teamed up with the NFL and Micah Parsons to launch an iconic apparel collection featuring hoodies, crews, t-shirts, polos, joggers, and more. The bold, unique apparel of the Boss NFL collection unites football and fashion while reflecting what it truly means to be a boss. Get yours today at nflshop.com/HugoBoss, at HugoBoss.com, and at Boss retail stores. #Be your own boss.
I'm Cowboys alumni Danny McCray, here with Smoothie King asking, what's that sound? That's the sound of me sipping one of their Power Pack smoothies with over 10 grams of protein. With real fruits and organic veggies, because at Smoothie King, what you see is what you sip. So grab a delicious Smoothie King smoothie, throw a straw in your jaw, and get sipping real. Smoothie King, the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Kyle Yeomans here, sharing that same team that brought you Buffalo, bringing NFL casino games that show America's team on and off the reels. Aristocrat is changing the game with a new experience. Football fans, this means you can pick your team and play your team. Check out the Cowboys-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat, a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Gambling problem? Please contact the U.S. National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over.
Raising Cane's presents the other rules of football. Rule 1. Any broadcast without the express addition of cooked-to-order Cane's chicken fingers is prohibited. Rule 12. No crinkle-cut fries, Texas toast, or craveable Cane sauce constitutes an illegal formation. And Rule 31. Anybody who loves to feed their game face is an eligible receiver of Cane's. When it comes to winning game day, Cane's rules. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love. Go Cowboys.
Back to the Players Lounge.
The official 2024 Dallas Cowboys Star Magazine training camp preview is now available. This year's edition features scouting reports, position analysis, a pull-out schedule, poster, and articles from your favorite Cowboy writers. Get your training camp preview today at your local pro shop or dallascowboys.com/star.
Heckma Harrison, appreciate you. Heckma Harrison, that's Barry Church from Cowboy Safety on the Scruggs. All right, gentlemen.
Through the line.
I don't have anything. It's not going to shock you, okay? It's not going to shock you.
Go ahead. What you got, man? You guys got news for us.
All right. Contract update.
Okay.
Per our Patrick Walker of DallasCowboys.com radio. CD Lamb and his representatives have replied with a rebuttal offer to the Cowboys. They did it on Sunday, according to Stevie Jones. So there you go.
There it is. Get the man signed.
So they're working. They're trying to get there.
Trying to get together.
They've talked to Dak Prescott, too, so they're exchanging. They're talking.
That's good.
And as a former player, we've seen a lot of deals get done at training camp for players.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you see it all the time. The guys that you wouldn't even think were about to get extensions or talking about getting extensions or deals, whatever the case may be, you'll just hear it pop up one day. Oh, man, you got paid? Yeah, man. It's because when you look at it, in the locker room, guys don't really, count each other's pocket. They're not really, what you get? You talking this, you talking that? That's kind of a sacred bond that you don't count anybody else's pockets in there. So the players hear about it, just like when the media hears about it. So you see it all the time in camp when it comes to getting guys getting paid and extensions. I mean, Orlando Scandrick, when I was here with him, I feel like he signed a new deal every year. He was getting read up on something. So, it happens all the time. And hopefully they can get this thing done with CD because, without him, I mean, you're looking at what? Hunter Lemke, Ferguson, those guys. I mean, that's going to be the offense. Yeah. That's going to be the offense. So we'll see.
I can't believe you left.
Kevontae Turpin, the Turpin, yeah.
It's going to be a good year.
Got some non-believers out there.
Yes, a lot of non-believers out here.
You don't want to read the book of Lemke? That's okay. It's okay.
Look,
change his number to water.
Like for CD, he's young and man, he's got a lot more contracts to sign. And so this is one of those opportunities, rare opportunities that guys get to go to the bank and actually open the vault and get paid. And he's put the work in. And it's weird when from the outside looking in, all those people ask, like, what are the Cowboys doing? What are they doing? I mean, because this is what you want from your homegrown players. You want to draft a guy, see him develop into that, and you want to pay him accordingly. The pickle that the Cowboys are in, that they draft a lot of good players that they have to pay at the top of the market. You don't have any B-level guys. All of these guys we're talking about are A-list guys, and CeeDee Lamb is definitely it needs to be mentioned in the same breath as those Justin Jeffersons, Devontae Allen. He needs to be there because the numbers dictate that he should. The thing is, going forward, you look at this offense, and it's not playing chicken with a Mack truck is for the front office. You got to have him at the beginning of the season. So no matter how you look at it, you can't make this contentious enough that he has a sit-in or says, I'm going to stay out and you guys just figure it out. Emmitt Smith is a classic example of a guy that just said, look, I ain't coming back until the deal gets done. And what happened? The Cowboys had to lose a few games.
0-2.
0-2 for them to say, let's go ahead and get this pushed over to your image so you can get that sign. I just think that CeeDee Lamb, and I'm just going back to the beginning of the season, those first 4 games, he really didn't make an impact. And so if he was even able to have a 100-yard, 200-yard, I mean, you're talking about that 1,700 yards possibly being a 2,000-yard season, the way that he came on. And so, look, I think whatever number he's mentioning, it starts at 35.
Gotta be.
Starts at 35. And I don't know what the structure of the deal is, if he's looking at the 3-year, 4, whatever it is, it's all funny money anyway.
Yeah.
He just, hey, give me the signing bonus, dog.
That thing will be crazy.
Oh, my God. Yeah, this is crazy. So, got to get that deal done.
Yeah. CeeDee Lamb, when you go back and you think about that draft and the receivers that were taken in the first round.
Yeah.
The first receiver off the board, John Gruden and the Raiders took Henry Ruggs out of Alabama.
Dang, the same draft?
Yeah.
Man.
The second receiver off the board, Jerry Jeudy from Alabama. Ruggs and Jeudy from Alabama. They both on national championship teams. Denver took him. He's no longer with the Broncos, and Ruggs ended up losing his career through off the field stuff. So Ruggs gone out of the league. Jeudy no longer with the Broncos. Then you had CeeDee Lamb. Cowboys take him at 17. Jalen Reagor gets taken.
God.
Is he still?
He's no longer with the Eagles. No longer with the Eagles.
If he's in the league
I don't even know if he's still.
He was on somebody's team last year. Might have been with Minnesota. I think.
Okay.
I think he might have been with Minnesota last year. And then it's Jefferson.
That was a miss.
So you think about the two, these two receivers at the back end. And, of course, the Philly fans are mad as heck about Jalen Reagor. And because I guess the tape is – and it was interesting because Zim was there at the time. Mike Zimmer, Cowboys defensive coordinator. I guess there's video like they laughed about Philly's
I
pick,
saw that, yeah.
And then they're like, turn the guard in. We're taking Jefferson.
ASAP.
And then to think, just think about the two Alabama guys. Now, the Alabama guys were good now, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Make sure they were good.
Ruggs was amazing. Alabama.
Down the street. Judy, I thought was better than Ruggs.
Yeah.
But at this level, this pro level, wow. I mean, first off, I did think that Lamb was miscast. Like, okay, what are guys looking at? I mean, he was a great player. He and Hurts. I mean, he was a great player at Oklahoma, but it was just very surprising. And so Church and I at that time, we were doing the podcast. We did our mock. We had said the Cowboys need to use that pick on Trayvon Diggs in the first round. We were all about Diggs. Yes, we were all because they needed a corner. Yeah. We were all about Diggs, but then. It's right there. And so the Cowboys did the smart thing, even with Amari Cooper around. They took CeeDee Lamb. And then, lucky enough, Dan Quinn took AJ, I can't remember his name, but they took the corner from Clemson instead of taking Diggs. And then Diggs falls in the second round. The Cowboys get Lamb and Diggs. And you talk about just two slam dunk, two all-pro, two all-pro picks.
I don't know if you guys have gotten an opportunity to see that show, Receiver, on
I'm not, but
I heard it was great.
Gotta check it out.
Okay.
I mean, it is the way that they follow those guys and just kind of show their game and how they prep. Justin Jefferson is the real deal. As a player, as a person, it just you couldn't help but fall in love with the kind of person that he is, his charisma as a person, but just the way that he prepares for the game. But you also see just his suddenness as a player. And New, you obviously been around the league so long, you recognize, man, that so many of the pundits and people that talk about the game never had that respect for slot receivers. It's always the guy that's furthest from the ball. That's your dog, the guys on the outside.
Wide receiver one.
The Jerry Rices, the Michael Irvins, the guys that made their life out on an island. Now the NFL has changed. It's spread them out the best way you can. And if I can get my best player in the slot, I'm going to misuse you.
Yeah, on a linebacker or a safety.
I'm going to it's going to be an adjustment problem. And I think that the offense of these offensive coordinators have gotten so smart and it's so layered in the way that they attack these defenses. When you have a Justin Jefferson who can be on a linebacker, who could be on a safety. CeeDee Lamb he can't go anywhere but up because he's a mismatch. He's a matchup nightmare on the inside. And these guys are getting these big contracts off of playing in the slot. Something that 20 years ago, nobody would even, you're a slot receiver. That's why you're getting it like that, because you got Michael Irvin on the other side of it.
What does Jefferson do with the quarterback change? That's going to be very interesting.
Who got over there? Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy.
He showed you last year, though. He played with some tomato cans for sure. last year, and still, was relatively good.
We saw Devontae Adams with the Raiders.
Oh, he's being punished.
With Jimmy Garoppolo.
He did something in his past life. He's being punished. I'm not going to ruin the show for you, but you got to. Yeah.
But I go back into just looking at the Cowboys now. At a certain point in time, if you're Dak Prescott and you're CeeDee Lamb, and yes, you want to get what you feel you deserve, but you've got a good combination right here.
Yes, you do.
I would take that into consideration for both parties of, hey, man, look, you want your bread, I want my bread, but let's not try to take so much bread that we break this up. Shaquille O'Neal had a great thing I was watching on one of his podcasts, and he spoke about how he wished he'd taken a little less to stay with Kobe Bryant. Even though he went to Miami with D-Wade and won a championship, I should have taken a little less. Was again not trying to Church. You were in that situation.
They ain't gonna do that.
That ain't a BCMO.
They
take less. Why?
They want that bread.
But I say this. Call Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, how's all? You got all that money in your ball going patch? Because what do you need? You need to catch the ball, and you need to get your stats to keep on going. Because I think all three of us would say Devontae's career that he's built so far is Hall of Fame worthy of considering. He's still got more to put, but he's putting together. It's like Zach Martin. Like, hey, as you start to look at it, like, are you putting together something where they need to consider you? He has. But you don't have Aaron anymore, and your boy Carr is gone. Now, I mean, what they got out there now?
O'Connell or something?
Yeah.
Adrian?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Right. So that's why I go back and just CeeDee Lamb. I get wanting the money. But if you took a little less, and you, Dak, you took a little less, so you could make sure you're playing with a top flight guy, said have a conversation with Shaquille O'Neal about putting, and anybody saying, hey, man, take no 20% off. We ain't saying go to become Dollar General up in here. But I'm just saying, be smart and make sure you get something. Because look at Devontae, and obviously you tell us to watch the receiver on Netflix to go see it. Okay,
it seems frustrating.
All right, fun stuff. Jazz, appreciate you. Chris Beam, Joshy, Heckman, man, good stuff here. Barry Church on New Special Players. We're gonna talk to you tomorrow. Okay, let's do this again tomorrow.
Do it tomorrow.
Let's do it again tomorrow, right here, 2 p.m.
Back to
Central Time, right here on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?